So mainly I'll be talking about managing diabetic tract retinal attachments. So there as Dr. Steve was already talking about, we have the outside-in technique as well as the inside-out technique. Both can be used in different scenarios. So in a patient with no PVD, like in this case, a young diabetic, here I was not able to use the cutter to create this nick. It was very tight and taut hyaloid. So I used the small sharp pick to create an initial rent in the hyaloid, and then started using a cutter to sort of move it from the center towards the periphery. So this is a little useful when you have very tight membranes with no PVD or very simple membranes. So all the epicenters or where the membranes anchor to the retina around new vessels, I just sort of isolate it by doing a segmentation around it and then trimming off the small bits of twigs which are arising from that. So in this, this is useful when you're having simple membranes or very taut membranes like this. And sometimes this inside-out technique, when you're peeling membrane from the disc area, can have severe bleeds like this. In this case, you have to assess whether the bleed is because of ruptured new vessels or accidentally ruptured retinal artery or a venule. So usually raising the pressure will be helpful to stop this bleeding. And sometimes you may want to put pressure a little bit. If it's bleeding in spite of raising the pressure, you may want to put pressure on the disc where the bleeding is to stop this bleeding if it's bleeding heavily, but most of the time it's not necessary. So nasally, when you move around, you have multiple small attachments because the vessels are more crowded here. But you should not lose your patience or don't get excited about finishing of the surgery. So go about in a slow way and manage this. When you are moving from the outside in, you have to first make sure that you enter the surgical field. So you have to talk about the second membrane. Here you can see the top layer is the PVD and the yellow orange marks are the small second membrane which is lying on the surface of the retina from the centers. So in these cases, unless you address the second membrane and go below this, your surgical plane is going to be difficult to peel, as well as you'll not be able to control the bleeding also. Sometimes the second membrane is very loosely adherent, as you see in this case. Just suction using the cutter will be able to pick up this membrane and get it to surgical field. So what looks like a plug attachment or a tabletop big plug-like attachment will actually be multiple point attachments once you enter the sub-second membrane plane. Here suction was able to lift up this membrane. And so now I do the so-called conformal delamination using the cutter. You cut in small bites going around and lifting the membranes and creating a plane there. And whenever you have some tougher attachments, you may want to switch to scissors to prevent iatrogenic retinotomies. So in patients where the second membrane is very tightly adherent, like in this case, you may want to use a pick to initially identify this edge. So once you start lifting with the pick, you can see that it's shiny membrane. So sometimes it's way peripheral than what you imagine. So this will help you to identify the edge. And once you see the edge, then you can go on with your forceps to lift this edge and then deal with the attachments either with scissors or with cutters, depending upon how thin the retina is, how severe the attachment is. Here I'm using my scissors to prevent iatrogenic retinotomies. A lot of young surgeons avoid the usage of scissors. As Dr. Steve Charles pointed out, scissors is a great instrument to prevent iatrogenic retinotomies. Using only the cutters in thin retina or tougher attachment is going to create multiple retinotomies, warranting you to inject oil at the end of surgery. So here I can see that even though it's a very flat attachment and the retina is quite thin because of the extensive sclerosis of the arterioles and the venules, it's a very advanced renal failure patient and a young diabetic using IDM insulin-dependent patients. So here you can see that I'm trying to peel the membranes and go around releasing all the membranes around the disc. This was only, the membranes were all confined to the disc. So when you're peeling at the disc, you make sure that your movements are tangential rather than anterior-posterior. This helps you to assess what is underneath to prevent any iatrogenic tears in the peripapillary area or rupturing of the major arterioles or vessels. Whenever you feel the adhesion is very strong, always don't hesitate to switch to scissors. This will give you a much more safer dissection without creating retinotomies so close to the critical areas here. Sometimes the second membranes can extend from arcade to arcade, like in this case, the vertical scan. So this is a one-eyed patient who already has a very bad TRD in the other eye. So you had a decent vision, but suddenly started losing vision of superior TRD, which is slowly migrating towards the fovea, and then he has a small cyst at the fovea also. You can see that what the transparent second membrane coming off now. Initially, once you cut the PVD, I started realizing that something is underneath. It's a very transparent membrane, and as you release from the disc, you can see that the adhesion is much more stronger as you cross over to the superior arcade. So because the one-eyed patient, I didn't want to inject oil, because the superior TRD will settle towards the fovea. Right now, the fovea is not involved. It's just threatening the fovea. But we put oil or gas, the TRD fluid is going to move into the fovea, causing long-term drop in vision. So I'm switching to a chandelier system. So I don't usually fancy this chandelier, but in this case, I felt it was very needed to prevent iatrogenic retinotomy because superior membranes are very tight. Using the forceps and scissors, I was able to peel the membranes without creating a iatrogenic retinotomy. So you can see that that's the area which is just above the fovea, which are large foveal cysts on OCT. So now as it comes off, you can see that is the second membrane which is lying underneath that, and what I'm holding is the top layer. So this is again a very chronic TRD, again one-eyed patient. Here, as you can see, most of the times you will not need to switch over to bimanual technique. Again, you can see the use of scissors because when the retina is very pulled up very anteriorly and membranes are very adherent, using cutters is going to be very difficult to cleave these membranes and peel the membranes from the retina. So I'm using a cutter and scissors interchangeably. Wherever I feel there's a stronger adhesion, I switch to scissors to create a division of the membrane from the retina, and then use the cutter to peel. Sometimes, occasionally, I use my light pipe to create a small bimanual traction to separate membranes. So this will help to, wherever tight membranes are there, you can use the left hand to slightly use it like a bimanual instrument. So in this case, we're able to finish the surgery without using any chandelier lights. And we also finished without creating any iatrogenic retinotomies also. So one thing to keep in mind is that when you move nasally, the vessels are much more crowded here, and the gap between the membrane adhesions is much more shorter and smaller here. So you have to be a little bit more careful and patient when you're moving in the nasal field if you want to remove everything without creating iatrogenic retinotomies. So again, as I told you, scissors is a very important instrument when you're trying to address these complex RDs. So for all young people who are listening, always don't hesitate to use scissors whenever you feel the membranes are much more adherent or the retina is much more atrophic and thin. So in this case, I decided to fill in oil because it's a one-eyed patient and he had a chronic renal failure and felt that the risk of postoperative bleeding was severe, and he was a phakic patient also. So I went on to fill oil in this case. So that's about, I wanted to talk about managing TRDs. I think over to you, Anand.